Michael Mann is tapping into Ferrari, and they went there. They mentioned the G word, which is Godfather. So STX and Amazon is sort of like looking at getting on board a project that'll look or delve deeper into the Ferrari world. Are you interested in familiarizing yourself with everything that was sort of like post or pre Ford versus Ferrari world?
I'm not a car person, so
But you like the family dynamic.
yeah, I mean, sure, like a story about a dynasty, about a rise to power, that sort of thing. There's so much, and in a huge industry, I mean, there's so much to talk about, and Michael Mann, his whole career has been about essentially in various ways, sort of men doing work, like having a specific job and focus and doing that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so this fits right into his wheelhouse. I know this film has been in development forever. Like in my playlist days, I remember writing about Ferrari like on more than one occasion as it's developed over the years. But now it seems he's gotten the green light, and I think he probably has the success of Ford versus Ferrari to thank. That was a huge hit, I think bigger than many people expected. And it helps when you have like Hugh Jackman to anchor it. I mean, that's a big star. That also helps as well. So exciting stuff. I mean, it's been 5 years since Black Hat, which I think has its fans, but was certainly not seen as a pinnacle of Michael Mann's career. So a lot of opportunity here, a lot of, and again, you're right. They bring in Deadline's report, they bring up The Godfather as a touch point, and that's a big brass ring to reach for sure.
Well, yeah. So just to give you guys a sense of what the project sort of like looks at is the development years of Ferrari and how he essentially it was all in, and essentially how him and his wife sort of like had to team together and hedge their bets and hedge their futures. And so what people might not know is Enzo Ferrari was born in 1898 and passed away in 1988. Had a couple of sons, and one died at a fairly young age. And so he had to trust a lot of young pilots with a way to figure out his livelihood, and had to sort of like emulate sort of like parental relationship. And so what I'm imagining, what we might see is a Hugh Jackman at a later stage in Enzo Ferrari's life, perhaps played by two actors, who knows. But yeah, it's going to be something that focuses in on those relationships and how ultimately drove him to a point of insanity or to a point of success. Obviously, we know the outcome of this, but I think for me, the project becomes a lot more interesting because he's going to delve into those relationships. And I think visually, I have no idea what kind of eye candy we can expect here. What are your thoughts on how this might come, how this might be visually packaged?
That's a good question. I mean, what I didn't realize as you're sharing your thoughts, I just saw that Michael Mann was actually an executive producer on Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah.
So no doubt he had some insight into how James Mangold approached the sequences there. But we do know Michael Mann likes to be at the forefront. He likes to be at the cutting edge, So it'll be interesting to see who he brings on to shoot who he brings on to help with the sort of special. I don't want to say special effects, but the driving sequences. How he wants to approach that. But on the flip side is, I mean, if we're talking about The Godfather, is this going to be a really like lush period piece? Is this going to be more sort of like grease and grime, like roll up your sleeves kind of approach? Maybe both.
So
Yeah.
so this film is going to chart the summer of 1957, and of course, Mangold's Ford versus Ferrari takes place in '66. So it's going to be fun to sort of like pair the two at some point. I believe production begins in 2021. So again, another huge title for 2022, and certainly I could see something like this hit easily go north of the 80 million mark. But yeah, another huge project for the Cannes virtual market, and that's pretty much it. Hi, I'm Eric Lavallée. I'm editor-in-chief and site owner for IONCINEMA.com, and this is
Kevin Jagernauth, contributing writer for the playlist.
And together we are IndieSponge.